Hey everybody, welcome back. So today is time to learn and yet another variation for the palate warble. This one I call the double warble, and it sounds kind of like this. So it's kind of simple to understand this in the technical sense because it's just the warble on the one side and then close that side and then warble on the other. You can get it quite fast. The warble kind of helps you hit the correct notes, and it also gives this kind of chopped effect. So instead of going, which is all the same notes, but that's kind of like a slide and it doesn't sound as crisp, you can just do, and you can go quite fast with this because you get a bit more accuracy. So let's dive right in and try and warble on the one side and then close that side after you've done it and then open the other. You might notice that you're not hitting the same notes as I was. That's because to get like the third note, if you're going for the triple, you need to kind of lift the bass pitch, move the back of your tongue like that. So the warble alone is not enough to get all the notes in most cases, but it still does help quite a bit to move the lips. One other benefit for using this also is that you get a lot more speed, because I think moving the back of the tongue like the normal palate whistle is very slow. At least the lips seem to be a lot faster. So when you get to that stage, you can try lifting like this side of the lips up slightly, and then play with the back of the tongue to get the correct pitch. So you can hit the different, quite a few different intervals there based on what you're doing with the back of the tongue. By the way, if you're just learning this, never seen this before, I think some of this stuff might fly right over your head, and it probably doesn't matter. Just come back to this video or just ignore the advice altogether. Maybe it'll start to make sense once you get a kind of a feel for the sound. But I wanted to show you some things you can do to practice. So the first exercise we're going to do, once we get that in some capacity, is we're going to go for speed, which is the fun part. So you just go a bit faster than you're comfortable. When you get like to a pace that you can't hold, the sound kind of breaks down. So I would advise, definitely, if you're practicing, go ahead and go faster. But if you're performing, I would say always do it at a comfortable pace, because it kind of sounds pretty bad if you mess it up. The accuracy and tone quality stuff is much more important with this style than with just the one warble. That one you can kind of do as fast as you like, but the double warble stuff requires you to be precise on the pitch, precise on the tempo, and then precise on something I'm gonna cover almost next. The next thing we can practice, the second exercise, it's about tone quality. So when you're starting out and you're not that comfortable with this effect yet, I think you'll find some of the pitches will be easier to get, but some of them will sound kind of like the sound is kind of there, but it's just not crisp yet. So now we're going to slow down instead of going fast, and we'll try to make each tone as good as we can. So Just play with the positioning, get those ones as crisp as you can. I would say at least the case is for me that side warbles with the lips are always kind of windy. I don't really mind that personally. I think it may be due just to my lip and teeth and their shape, and maybe even the shape of my jaw and stuff like this. And the next thing we're gonna cover is something I call transitioning. So when you are doing 3 different positions, you have to pay attention to what goes on with your lips when you're moving from the first position to the second one. That needs to be fast and crisp. And then also from the second to the third, that needs to be crisp too. And the way you can make that better is, instead of doing it like slowly, just try and exaggerate the movement a bit. And try and get this kind of like it's almost kind of a kick drum effect, but it doesn't feel like that. Is like really small. But if you get that to be a part of the double warble, then when you go fast, the different pitches will be that much clearer. So instead of and then you can also get that, I think that's called the attack part. You can get that attack from the third note back to the first one if you're doing that dee-dee-dee-dee thing I just did. So you notice there's a kind of a va effect there. That works on both sides. Maybe if you've ever done the lip warble, you can already do it. That effect, try and include that in. So to summarize, speed, but also control, rhythm, clear pitch, clear transitions. Work on those, and I think you can get a very, very beautiful double warble going. And also there's a couple advanced exercises here I'd like to present. So the first one is, and by the way, before we get into these aren't like stuff you have to do, so they're not mandatory. But I would say they're just a source of inspiration, and you don't even have to get these to sound that good. The point is just that you whistle more. And I think the more you whistle, the better you get. So the first exercise of the advanced exercises is the triplet. You can try it on all different pitches. Second exercise, go up and come back down. Like that. Third exercise, try and work on some scale, for example, the major scale. Next exercise, you want to go so hold on a note, sustain it for a bit, and then do a fast one. One more exercise. So instead of holding the note, just skip that part altogether. Treat this as a single effect.